Okay, welcome back to round 3, everybody. I don't have the names here, but we are here in, as I mentioned, round 3 of the Collector's Store Tournament here on Valentine's Day. I'm your host, Jared, your live commentator, and we will see what we are looking at. So we have Ogrepon-Hearthflame this time. Here on the left, our prospective player with an Urshifu, Rillaboom, Raging Bolt, Incineroar, and Fluttermane. Very interesting to see a Hearthflame instead of a Wellspring. First Hearthflame of the tournament we have had on stream. And we are up against what we saw in round 1, the Regigigas team with a Perish Trap option. So, we'll see. We saw a very similar league to this early on in the tournament, where the skill swap came immediately, but Fake Outs could come out to try to prevent some of this. There is Protect and Counter Fake Out, but that does stall for a turn. So, we'll see. The Clear Amulet blocks the Intimidate on the Regigigas, so it's at neutral attack, hindered by the slow start, of course. So what are we wanting to do? Will-O-Wisp would be absolutely incredible into this Regigigas. It would also cripple the Medicham. It's got close combat, which is big damage. Icy Wind, Moonblast, Taunt, Protect. Taunt would actually be very good at shutting down this Medicham, not letting it get a skill swap off onto the Regigigas. This team looks a lot more prepared or capable of dealing with this setup. So we see the Terrestrialization coming out like instant Terra Ghost on this Medicham, saying, hey, I'm not going to let you get a Fake Out on me to stop this. An instant Moonblast in the Medicham, takes it down low, but not taking it out, has a Focus Sash, so didn't need to worry about that regardless. Slow start onto the Medicham, and a Drain Punch into the Incineroar, not the strongest move, and so without any sort of boost, that's not going to be enough to take out the Incineroar, giving it free reign to get off, I believe it was a Will-O-Wisp, yes, into the Regigigas, so its speed is up, but with that burn, it's basically just as physically crippled as if it still had slow start. So this turn went incredibly well for our prospective player. So looking at this, I'm not quite sure what Incineroar is feeling like doing at this moment. It has plenty of options. Knockoff will get rid of the Clear Amulet on Regigigas, that's useful, or take out the Medicham. Moonblast could finish off the Medicham, or perhaps you just want to get chipped down. This Icy Wind, maneuvering the speed of the Regigigas, is a good move too. Doesn't quite take out the Medicham, which is going to leave it open for additional movement, but with the burn, the Incineroar is able to move, is able to survive and get a knockoff off. So that's massive. In close combat with 3 HP on the Incineroar, I don't care how low your attack is after losing Pure Power and after losing the after dealing with slow start. The Regigigas goes down, it's about half. Everything that's in the kitchen sink has been thrown into taking out the Incineroar. So that leaves Ogrepon and Raging Bolt in the back, able to do good work. I'm very curious what our prospective player is looking to do. So we're seeing the Ogrepon-Hearthflame Mold Breaker currently not doing anything. The Medicham is so slowed down at this point that it's probably not getting another attack off unless it wants to go for Protect. And so this Regigigas days could be numbered. A Terrafire Ivy Cudgel will probably take out this Regigigas. It is an incredibly strong move, and while Regigigas is bulky, I'm not sure it's that bulky. So we'll see. Here comes the Terrifier Embody aspect coming in. Will boost the attack of this Hearthflame, giving it a boost. The fire damage increasing aspect of the Terrifier. So this Regigigas is just trying to protect itself, keep itself alive for one more turn. Let's see this Icy Wind come down. It hits the Protect, and it does hit the Medicham. The Medicham is going down here, making room for something a bit more threatening to come out in its place. So I think I misspoke earlier saying that the Regigigas was back down to slow start levels of attack. Sorry, with the pure power doubling its attack and the burn cutting it in half, the numbers come out to roughly just being a normal Regigigas after slow start comes into fades, I should say, once the slow start fades. So here comes Tornadus. That is good for speed control. Remember, this Regigigas is at -1 speed right now. So its Tailwind would be able to get it a boost up. But let's see what we're looking at. What can this Regigigas do? Remember that with the Terra Fire on this Ogrepon, it's pure fire type, no grass type to reduce the damage of a ground type stomping high horsepower from the Regigigas. So we see the Tailwind. How much speed was put into this Regigigas? Will it outspeed at -1? No. So now the Regigigas is at normal Tailwind, normal speed with the Tailwind doubling it and 2 Icy Winds having it. That does allow Ogrepon to go first, get an Ivy Cudgel, and take out this Regigigas. I don't think that crit mattered, and so whatever our current player has in the back, he's going to have the speed advantage with this Fluttermane, but he's facing an uphill battle trying to take this game number 1. Another Ivy Cudgel will probably take... Ivy Cudgel, when that move is clicked, if it connects, it's probably taking out anything left on the opponent's side of the field. That's how strong Ogrepon-Hearthflame is when it's terastallized and gotten that +1 attack boost. So we're just looking at more speed control. Thunder Wave does come out, does try to hamper going for the yellow color onto this Ogrepon, trying to slow it down. An Icy Wind misses the Tornadus, does slow down the Fluttermane. Not the most critical thing because of that Tailwind still bolstering it. The Weakling Storm comes out, does decent chip damage, crits on the Fluttermane, but the paralysis doesn't work. Ivy Cudgel slams down into the shiny Fluttermane and takes it out. You have to go for your outs. You know, 90% chance to hit and then a 25% chance for a full paralysis. If that full paralysis had hit, this could have been a very different game, but it looks like we're just Moonblasting and Icy Winding to finish this off. Here comes a Moonblast. Good information to know that that does roughly half, a little bit less than half, onto this Tornadus. And wow, this, making up for game 1, this Tornadus is hitting all of its moves, getting critical hits. A paralysis comes out then, but without the speed drop onto the Fluttermane, this Tornadus is likely to go down here to this Moonblast. There it is. And we have game 1 taken against this really innovative Perish Trap team with a Regigigas skill swap backup mode. So now we see that that skill swap can be handled. Incineroar can handle it very well. How will Kyle adjust to the adjustments that he expects to see from the opponent's team? We haven't yet seen Perish Trap come into play. The only time we've seen anything like that so far has been in game 1 of round 1, where an Encore Disable allowed the opponent's Fluttermane to knock itself out. We haven't seen Perish Song once. We haven't seen Gothitelle at all. And I'm curious if Kyle thinks that this mode will work against this much offensive power and pivoting. There is a Parting Shot, there is a Fluttermane who can just swap out of trapping, you know. But if you don't have that mode, and you've seen that the Regigigas and Medicham mode was able to be stopped by a good Will-O-Wisp from Incineroar, what other options do you have to lead off in this game? He only needed 3 Pokemon to take out Kyle's 4, and so that's information that Kyle doesn't know. What Pokemon would our prospective player have in the back to deal with his team? Because I can see Rillaboom coming, I can see Raging Bolt coming. It's what came in the first game, not that Kyle knows. And Urshifu can do big damage into this Regigigas with its fighting type attacks. And again, I don't know if it's single or rapid strike, but dark type coverage could handle a Terra Ghost from the Regigigas. So we're seeing the exact same leads this time. Regigigas and Medicham against Incineroar and Incineroar and Fluttermane. So the Intimidate drops on the Medicham, does absolutely nothing into the Regigigas because of that clear amulet. We see Photosynthesis come out from the Fluttermane. Once again, it is boosting speed. That has been the boost of choice all tournaments so far that we have seen on stream. So we're looking at, do we want to go for a taunt to shut down that skill swap this time? It looks like he's really considering it. And this time a fake out as well into the Regigigas potentially. So I just have name updates. So we know Kyle from round 1. He is the opposing player, and we have Rex as our prospective player with Incineroar on the field right now. So Terra goes, but Fake Out goes into the Regigigas, doing a bit of chip, preventing it from moving, and a taunt comes out into the Medicham. Did it go for a skill swap this time, or did it try to get damage with close combat? And no, turn 1 has been completely shut down. This Medicham can only click close combat or Fake Out at this point. It's past turn 1. Close combat's the only move that'll do anything. Are you switching out, trying to get a reset? Are you going to try to just stall all 5 turns with Regigigas? There's a Will-O-Wisp ready to just ruin this Regigigas. It's slow start, no skill swap available. What are you wanting to do? It looks like Incineroar is considering going for Terra Grass, trying to bait a high horsepower, or rather, a high horsepower into it for resistant damage instead of super effective. A close combat will do neutral damage, and again, that close combat's at -1. So what are we looking at here? Regigigas is just stalling out right now, which is good call. Knows that a Will-O-Wisp is such a tempting move option into it. Doubling up into the Regigigas, wanting it removed before any problems can happen. A close combat comes into Incineroar at -1 with pure power. That still does decent enough damage, I suppose. But it's still just something that is so perilous for Kyle right now. He's really on the back foot without getting this Regigigas, getting the slow start removed from this Regigigas. We're seeing just kind of a replay, another Will-O-Wisp wanting to go into that slot. That's going to hurt whatever we're looking at from Rex's side of the field. Nobody wants to take it. Regigigas swaps out, expecting another Will-O-Wisp into that slot. So here comes Screamtail. Looks like we might have some trapping shenanigans, or at the very least, Encore and Disable. We see another Photosynthesis boost. We know that's Photosynthesis speed, but Fluttermane should still be a little bit faster. Moonblast is going to break the Focus Sash on the Medicham, get it ready for just a chip move to take it out. But again, we have to see another close combat going into Incineroar, doing good damage, but a Citrus Berry will get it over half. So, are we doing a hard pivot? The taunt should be fading about now, but I don't know what move you'd want to hit. Are you in close combat at this point? The Screamtail is burned, but it doesn't have any actual attacks. Honestly, a taunt on Screamtail would really hinder it right now. But maybe it was just a swap trying to get Incineroar out of a bad position. Again, Medicham's taunt falls off. So what are we doing? Are we resetting taunt on Medicham? Are we taking out the Medicham? Are we trying to lock down this Screamtail? It looks like we're doing a bit of a switcheroo, going from one fire into grass type into a fire grass type. Incineroar out for Ogrepon-Hearthflame. Mold Breaker's coming out, doesn't seem to be doing much of anything. Medicham taking advantage, going for Protect. It's no longer taunted. It can click that move. But a taunt goes on to the Screamtail, who just can't do anything. It has no moves. So it's going to not be able to disable. It gets chipped by the burn, and it has no moves it can click, I believe. I believe we've seen its set of Encore, Disable, Parasong, and Protect. And so that Screamtail's just struggling at this point, literally, if it stays in. And meanwhile, we have two offensive powerhouses just salivating at taking out. Speed control is in the hands of Rex here. It has the fastest Pokemon on the field with Icy Wind support. Screamtail can't do anything. Regigigas switches in, just trying to do something. Icy Wind comes out, slowing down the slow start Pokemon even more. And so, what are we looking at? Ivy Cudgel into the Screamtail, going to do good damage. good information, doing about a third of its health. And so here's the struggle, getting Chip on the Fluttermane, but doing a quarter of its HP and damage. It might survive one more burn tick, but an Icy Wind will take it out no problem. And Ogrepon has free reign to go after this Regigigas now. It's looking really, really, really dangerous. What? So Screamtail switches out, knows it can't do anything. Are we trying to get... okay, we have Tornadus wanting to get some speed control back in his favor. Protect on the Regigigas, just trying to stall. You've got 5 turns you've got to slow start through. I believe this is number 2. I'm not entirely sure how that works with hard switches, but I believe this is the 2nd turn. Here comes an Icy Wind, going to slow down the Tornadus. Both Pokemon have -1 in speed right now, and Ivy Cudgel gets blocked by the Protect. But again, you have to wonder, how does Kyle bring this back? He has Chip Pokemon, he has a weak Regigigas, slow start, not even halfway done, and an Ogrepon who's just chomping at the bit to drop more Ivy Cudgels. It looks like we are considering swapping out. Nope, looks like we're still going with Icy Wind, saying, hey, if I keep slowing you down, it doesn't matter if you Tailwind. Eventually, I'll slow you down so much that you just... this Tailwind doesn't do anything. We see an Intimidate, we know the Clear Air Blend's going to block it, we know the Tornadus has no physical attacks, just Bleak Wind Storm. And so we're looking at another Protect. He does get a double Protect, but this isn't really the turn you want to get that double Protect. There is a taunt on the Fluttermane, but it's just going for Icy Wind, just slowing things down even further. So you have to consider, what are we looking at? What is the win condition? Are we looking for 4 Protects in a row on this Regigigas? Because as soon as a burn comes out from this Incineroar on the Regigigas, if it hits, if we don't have Air and Cybertron Zang levels of luck with this move, that Regigigas is just neutered for the rest of the battle. And so he's saying, hey, I'll reset my turn counter and just switch into my Screamtail at this point. I've taunted your Fluttermane, so you're not going to be able to taunt me. But it doesn't matter when this Icy Wind, after the burn damage, is going to take out the Screamtail. So what are we looking at? We're looking at a Bleak Wind Storm. That Grass-type Incineroar is going to be taken out by it, and critically, you get a speed drop on the Fluttermane, taking it to neutral speed after the Photosynthesis boost. We need a few more of those moves in order to have luck. Screamtail faints, that does allow for something to come back in for free without taking a speed drop from an Icy Wind. We'll have to see what that's going to be. But meanwhile, Rex also has a free switch-in. Whether it be the Ogrepon or will it be the Raging Bolt, it looks like it's going to be the Raging Bolt. Good damage, priority damage if that's necessary, likely not. But a Thunderbolt and Dragon Pulse, easy moves to click, guaranteed knockouts on a Thunderbolt will take out any Pokemon currently out on the field for Kyle. And Fluttermane, it's just been clicking Icy Wind, getting some chip damage on Tornadus, doing some speed drops, but that's going to take out the Medicham, and Tornadus is really not looking healthy at this point. So Rex is is in a dominant position, just trying to consider what move should it click to have the most likely chance of winning. When you're in such a dominant position, the last thing you want to do is do something that will throw the game here. And so I think I see the vision that Kyle is going for. I expect a Tailwind Desperation point. And there it is. Protect on the Medicham, trying to get a Desperation skill swap off. We see an Icy Wind. I don't think that will take out the Tornadus at this point, though. So I think we're going to need a double Protect on this Tornadus. And if you're Rex, why would you take out the Tornadus? It's not a threat at this point. You have an Electric type out that resists the Bleak Wind Storm. You have Fluttermane, who's pretty specially bulky and cannot be touched by the Medicham. So you just need to take out this Medicham, and you're good to go. The only threatening position, I think, is if a switch happens right now into a skill swap from the Medicham. And so we'll see what we're looking at. Raging Bolt swaps out for Ogrepon, getting that Mold Breaker back out. Medicham goes for a double protect, does not land, and so this Icy Wind is going to hit. And if this Icy Wind hits, this is a double KO, and putting the absolute... No, it was a taunt. Okay, so double taunt happens. So now we're looking at a precarious position. Because that taunt failed on the Medicham, that protect failed on the Medicham, it can get a free one off right now. And Medicham's just salivating at the opportunity for a Tailwind boosted skill swap, and that is what Rex is having to play around. That's the only potential chance for a miss here, but he's saying, hey, I think you think I'm going to protect. I'm going to do the swap now and try to skill swap now. So we'll see what happens if we can get an attack, some attacks off on that Pokemon. Instead, it's just a Spiky Shield playing very defensively right now. Here comes the skill swap. There's no burn. There's no nothing. We have a pure power Regigigas under Tailwind. It's looking dire. Here comes an Icy Wind that will slow down the Regigigas. Remember, the Regigigas isn't attacking this turn. No, I apologize. With the Clear Amulet, there's no slowing down this Regigigas. Last game, the Clear Amulet was knocked off pretty early into the game. So we have full power going on right now. Tornadus is probably going to be able to get one more Tailwind off if necessary. I didn't see if the text faded or not. No, they have one more turn of Tailwind to have Regigigas just absolutely go for anything else. What will Ogrepon do here? I don't think a Moonblast or an Ivy Cudgel alone will be able to take out this Regigigas. So what are you looking to do? You'll need 2 attacks to take out the Regigigas, and you don't want to leave Tornadus alone just to get Bleakwind Storms off or to refresh the Tailwind. So what is your play this round? Here comes the Bleakwind Storm, fastest thing in the field. Ogrepon takes big damage. Any attack from Regigigas will take out either Pokemon. Ogrepon goes down. With the Spiky Shield last turn, it can't protect itself this turn. So Fluttermane, what is your move? Regigigas takes a little bit of chip damage. Moonblast goes out into the Tornadus, and now we're looking at dire straits for this Regigigas. It's alone, it's boosted, but there's a Raging Bolt on the back, in the back of the team. There's no Tailwind, and Raging Bolt can just Thunderclap twice and take this out because there's no spread damage on this Regigigas. It can't take out both Pokemon right now. So double Thunderclap should be able to handle this, I think. Again, Raging Bolt could be very bulky. You don't see Draco Meteor. That does imply this is a more bulk-oriented Raging Bolt. But if it's bulk-oriented, it might think that it can survive these attacks from this Regigigas. Regigigas is going for Protect, trying to scout out what the opponent wants to do. It is a Moonblast, and it's doubling up into this Regigigas. You can't Protect forever. You're going to need to attack at some point. I think you need a miracle here to be able to get this off. I'm real hesitant about the Thunderbolt into this Regigigas. If the Regigigas is faster, it's not, even after the slow start. So we do see a high horsepower come out, takes out the Fluttermane, and now you're in a position where you have to play mind games. Protect versus Thunderbolt. What is the option? You've got Life Orb on your Raging Bolt. So can you survive a high horsepower? Or will it be Protect mind games? But no, here's the Thunderclap coming in at the last moment, clapping this Regigigas, and Rex takes out Kyle in a 2-0 victory here in round 3 of this Collector's Cup tournament. Congratulations to both of our players, and I will see you all in the next round.